Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Mob Psycho 100. Last time we had Claw, the 7th Division. Where the boys, Mob, Teruki, and Dimple all went to infiltrate Claw to save Ritsu and the others. And then Ritsu was working on his own way of getting out and was using his psychic abilities along with the other dudes from the one place. And then there was going to be a rematch between Mob and Koyama, but Mob did not hold back in the slightest and just thoroughly kicked his ass. So, yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. So, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Mob Psycho 100. Here we go.
If everyone is not special, maybe you can't be what you want to be.
Well, there's always the it gets worse before it gets better phase, isn't there? And to be fair, 7 of 11 scars, and that one kid. Yeah. So, which I mean, I assume that kid will eventually become a scar. He just doesn't have his scar yet. But he was definitely too strong for Ritsu. But here's the thing. Mob didn't lose. You know, like when you look at it, he didn't lose. He's just out for a minute, you know? He's just out for a minute. He'll be alright. I still love, you know, okay, I'm enjoying this sort of, I guess this sort of archetype in anime of the most pure character on Earth, you know? Like, between Mob going over to my Demon Slayer reactions where I'm watching Tanjiro, go all the way back to the beginning of JoJo when you have Jonathan Joestar and stuff, I'm really enjoying that. Even here, it's like, oh, why is Mob crying? It's like, because he doesn't want to hit a lady, you know? She had to convince him that it's okay to fight, you know? And again, I love, too, this just adding to why Reagan is my favorite character, because I love that he says it was his master. It was Reagan who taught him that. It was Reagan who said, any guy who hits a lady is the biggest loser on Earth. I friggin' love that. Like, again, like, even though we have this whole thing of Reagan, you know, being a con man, he's not a psychic, you know? He's not an esper. And he's using Mob for his own financial gain. But overall, he is kind of a good person. He does teach Mob very important, good lessons. And I just absolutely love that. It makes me so much more interested in Reagan, you know? So that was good. That was really good. And then, so we got just a lot of interesting characters in this one, I will say. I like the lackeys. I like the lackeys and the one, you know, older lackey who is like, guys, you don't want to fight, you know? If they have any sort of psychic power, you don't want to fight them, you know? And especially just, you know, they just said that they easily defeated the other lackeys. You don't want to mess with them. And honestly, that makes sense. Honestly, those lackeys are literally just there for their benefits, you know? And they're like, okay, look, you know, even whether it's good or not, you know, ethically good or not, Claw, you know, their logic is Claw will take over the world. So we might as well get some benefits from it, you know? Get some health insurance or something, you know? We'll get a good dental plan if we stick with Claw, you know? And sure enough, so it's like, well, nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. Like, they're not gonna know and they're not gonna care if, excuse me. They're not gonna know and they're not gonna care if, you know, they let those kids go. They're not gonna know, so they're like, let's just save ourselves getting beaten up. Let's just sit here and wait and drink, you know? Honestly, they remind me a lot of the telepathy club. Just a bunch of people just hanging out in a room without too many cares in the world, you know? So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then we got the various scars. We got the pyromancer, which was pretty cool. And I like how it's like, all right, how do you deal with, you know, this someone with pyrokinesis? It's like, oh, you just, you know, put the barrier around them and they'll be engulfed in their own flames. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good way of doing it if they're not thinking about it. So I was really worried though that his hair was going to get burned off, but he made it out. He's singed. He was definitely singed all around, but he was all right. So that was interesting. We got the puppet girl, and yeah, I mean, puppets are no challenge, you know. I mean, it's interesting that, you know, that girl is a scar. You know, you have to think about so many different things about it. You know, it's like, okay, so she's a scar, so she fought the boss at a young age, but she's okay. Like, the boss respected her enough to keep her around and stuff. So that was interesting. It's interesting, just sort of, you know, what you can gather just from the fact that she is a scar. But then you look at her whole puppet thing, and it's like, okay, I guess that could be kind of strong. It's literally just that, like, okay, we have to, you know, analyze. You kind of have to analyze their strength based on Ritsu. Like, in theory, those puppets perfectly good against Ritsu. You know, perfectly good against Mob. Not so much, and that's the thing. And then we had the one lady. I didn't catch her name, but the one lady with her friggin' like bodybuilding key, like key powers, like that was really cool. And again, yeah, like I love that it's like, oh, why are you crying? And he's like, I was taught to respect women. It's like, yeah, the Mob. That's also one thing is I love characters who just down respect women juice, you know, like, so there's something about that. It's just, it's nice, you know, and Mob is definitely one of them. Mob has, he definitely drinks that respect women juice, and he's like, my master told me that anybody who hits a lady is the biggest loser. And I love, like, that was such a good moment between the two of them of like, look, you know, I do this so that I can fight. I don't want you to hold back on me, you know. And it's like, it's okay. I want to fight you at your best. She then immediately gets her ass kicked, but hey, he respected your wishes. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. And then the whole thing of the illusionist and Mob basically reversing the hallucinations to him, but amplifying them so much more. And that's the thing, it's like, you know, that one kid who's not a scar, was it Show? Like, he's kind of cocky about it, and it's like, dude, you would have gotten your ass kicked if you had dealt with him, you know? Like, you should not be so cocky about it. So, yeah, he got to 100% of his emotions, but it was basically like a backfire on the illusion, and all of that went into his brain and fried him, so yeah. Did Mob lose? No, he's just temporarily knocked out for the moment. But once he gets up, we all know he's going to be fine. We all know he's going to go in and kick some ass. So, yeah. So good stuff. Very interesting. I'm not even to... Wow, talk about a short discussion. This was barely 10 minutes, but there you go. Mob Psycho 100. It's short, concise discussions. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Mob Psycho 100 reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.